Hi, Troy at the Full Setup here, back with another video today, and today I'm going to show you how to paint heat sinks on a motherboard. Now this is a Gigabyte, what is it, GAF288, it's an 88X motherboard for the AMD FM2 Plus platform, which I'm going to use my 880K. So yeah, we've got these two heat sinks here, so we need to remove this one and the one down here. So some things you may well need for this. Anti-static mat, like what I'm putting this on, all that sort of stuff is great to have, and definitely a hand strap so you don't short the board out, even though I just picked it up then without one on. And then also you're going to need some little screwdrivers to take it off. Quite highly recommend as well, you might just want to have some thermal paste lying about. Chances are you're probably not going to need any. On most new motherboards they don't really use the thermal paste now, but just if you've got some, doesn't matter what it is, just anything you've got of an old cooler. But if you want something cheap to do this with, maybe just like some Arctic MX4, and then also the spray paint as well, which I'll get to in a minute because I've got to go pick it up from my friend's house. So here's the motherboard, we're in for a closer look now. These are really easy to get off, don't worry about this. It might be different on other little motherboards, so you know, I might say it's easy, but just take your time. But generally you just have these little screws that have got, you'll see in a second, they've got springs on. But what I like to do is just sort of, don't put any pressure on the back of the board, but I sort of just hold, I'm sort of using my fingers pushing against that as I'm taking it off, because I do this mainly, this is a thing with CPU coolers. Sometimes when you take one screw out just at once, it sort of pings up and you don't want to cause any damage to anything on the side that it's sort of pinging up on. I don't know if that makes any sense on my hand sort of thing, but that's why I always just loosen them sort of together until you get there, and it just stops if there is any push in it. If it's sort of like, you know, tension down, it's not going to push it away. And then the same sort of principle as well with screwing back on, sort of just finger tight, don't apply too much pressure. So this is the one that's around all the power management area, and then literally you just want to, you don't want to put it too much. Obviously you have a good look around it, see if it's paste, see how it's going to pop off, and there we go. I know this already a bit more because I've already opened it. That's almost like a thermal, generally they use thermal pads. Oh, sorry, it's a bit bright here, turn the light down a bit. Yeah, it's like a thermal pad, you can see all the little grooves in that. So I'm just going to put that to one side, and that I'm going to sort of cover as well when I spray paint, because I don't really want anything getting onto it. So next one we'll do the old the 88, the chip set as well, the North Bridge, South Bridge, whatever they are. They're all tied into one now anyway, aren't they? So again, just same principle, just going to do it nice and easy, a few turns on each screw, and just go back and forth. Like, you can't, don't, obviously this is going to look a little bit quicker because I've done this, I've sussed it out, I took it off the other night, but with anything like this, take your time. And also don't blame me if you blow it up, it's not my fault you're not as good as me. No, it's the 3 P's, piss poor planning. If you're doing piss poor planning, you're going to have a piss poor project. And that one's just going to pop off, that literally one just falls off. There's no thermal paste in there, no grease or anything on the chip. If there was, I'd just literally put the tiniest little dab back on. So there we go, I've got both my heat sinks, we're ready to paint. So the paint I've decided to use today, it's called Plasti Dip. Now what Plasti Dip is, like a rubber spray paint that doesn't give, you know, it's not as good a finish as some of the normal spray paints that I use, or like the satin whites that I've used in previous builds. But what you can do with this is, if you screw it up, you can peel it off, which is sort of what I've gone for it. It's a bit more expensive, it's about £12 a can, but I do quite like it. Now before you start painting, you want to prep your surface, you want to clean it all down. You might have to, with certain embossing like lettering and stuff, you might have to just sand that down a little bit as well, and just get everything nice and ready to go, and just take your time with it. So I'm going to take you in and I'm going to show you some spray painting. Apologies, I live right in the town centre near a train station, so it might be a bit noisy in the background, but yeah, just get the can a good shake, and you just want to, tiny little coats. Start here and finish here, don't start spraying over the item. That's it, that's one coat. So yeah, I don't know if you can see that there, but just tiny, just a tiny little layer. That is all you need for the first coat. Okay, so we're going to go for coat number 3. Shouldn't really pick it up straight away afterwards, but there's 3 coats. As you can see, you sort of want to be able, starting to not be able to see through it so much, can't see the Gigabyte logo as much, so I reckon 3 more coats and that should be done. So I will have to apologise, I only show up to the 3rd coat due to the weather getting quite bad, so I was it was on and off raining, so I was just having to run out for a minute and do a quick coat. I did 6 coats in total, but it was a little bit rushed. Luckily, because on a motherboard, you sort of, you know, these bits are going to be right in the back of the case, you're not going to see them too much, it's behind the window, so I'm quite happy with it, really. But if I took more time, it would be a bit better, because sort of here is the board. Up on the top here, this heatsink, I've got a few bubbles and stuff, but other than that, I think it looks absolutely fantastic. I've also got 16 gigabytes of white HyperX RAM as well to go with it. So I think all in all, for a quick little mod, and obviously you can peel this off as well if you ever decide for another colour, I think Plasti Dip is definitely the way to go. So if you like this video, and if it's helped you out, please subscribe. If you don't like it, tell me why, and if you want to comment because you like it, also tell me why. There's going to be some more mod videos coming over the next couple of weeks, so the only way you can see that is to get over to the channel.